What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fanatics Eye. Cam Newton has been getting a lot of flack recently because of what he said about the difference between game managers and game difference makers. Take a listen.
As game managers, this may ruffle a lot of feathers, but it's honest. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers.
Ruffle a lot of feathers, that statement did, okay? Everyone has been questioning his statements about the difference between game managers and game difference makers. Not only have they been questioning it, they kind of been dogging on it, okay? Listen to what some of these guys had to say about Cam Newton and his opinions.
Like, give me a break. I'm just so, honestly, move past the outfit for a second. He literally said, in the year of 2023, where it's all about NFL backups, where is Cam? Not on an NFL roster, right? So he's talking about all these NFL game managers. He sounds like the people literally tweeting at me from their basement, like, get back in the like, it's like you are at home watching me. Just turn the TV off.
Like my man Emmanuel Acho said, you better watch your mouth when you're talking about Cam Newton, okay? This is someone who, if they're qualified to talk, if anyone is qualified to talk about this subject, it's Cam Newton, okay? This guy did more for his franchise in a single season than a lot of quarterbacks are able to do over the course of their entire careers, okay? He drug a pretty bomb offense of a Panthers team. They had a good player, okay? Greg Olsen. His best receiver was Ted Ginn, whose best receiving season was that season with 700 and some odd yards, okay? So he drags that offense all the way through a 16-1 season, through the playoffs, and into the Super Bowl. Not a lot of quarterbacks can say that. Very few quarterbacks can put an entire team on their back for an entire regular season, throughout the entire playoffs, to get to the Super Bowl. If anyone is qualified to talk about the difference between game managers and game difference makers, as one of the biggest game difference makers the league has ever seen, Cam Newton is more qualified than anybody else to talk about. Now, he's not saying that a game manager is a bad thing. Okay, even in the video, he says it's not a negative connotation. He even in the video says that he believes Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady to be among the elite game managers in the NFL's history, which I would have to respectfully disagree, because I believe that those guys were truly game difference makers. You take those guys off their team, and what are they? We see what happened to the Patriots. They're a 3-win team. We see what happened to the Buccaneers. They're 7-7. Okay? These guys, the Saints still haven't recovered from losing Drew Brees. The Colts haven't recovered from losing Peyton Manning, and neither really have the Broncos. But seeing as how he considers three of the greatest to ever throw a football to be game managers, that should show you a little bit about what he thinks that title means. Just because you're a good quarterback who makes big-time plays every now and then, and you're on a successful team, does not mean that you are a or the difference maker for that team. Okay, it just means that you don't make mistakes and you play pretty well. You're a good player, okay? As long as you don't make too many mistakes, you will continue to be a good player in this league. And in reality, you're really a game manager, okay? So a game manager is someone who they're not asked to go out and put the cape on every single week and drag their team to victory. Players who do that, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and a few other guys. There's not a lot of big-time game difference makers in the NFL. Most guys are just good players. They're just good players, role players, okay? But if you swap them out with another decent player, the team's not going to differ that much, okay? But you take Josh Allen out of that Bills lineup, and you put any other average quarterback in there, they're maybe a 4 or 5 win team. That is a game difference maker. When you are the difference between 5 and 6 games, you're a pretty big game difference maker, okay? Josh Allen is a guy who is asked to put on the cape and go out and win that game every single week. We've seen how elite he is and has been over the last 3-4 years. Every single season, they are considered to be a Super Bowl contender because of Josh Allen. You throw an average starting quarterback in there, a Kenny Pickett, a Jared Goff, how good is this team? Not that good. A game manager, on the other hand, like the Brock Purdy's and the Dak Prescotts of the league, these are guys who, for the most part, inherited an already good team, an already kind of thriving team. Now, the Cowboys, they thrive in the regular season, but come playoff time, they haven't been able to do anything in a quarter century, and Dak hasn't changed that. So how much of a difference maker is he really? Okay, he's won 2 playoff games in 8 seasons. That is not a game difference maker. So really all Cam Newton is saying is a game manager is just a guy who's asked not to go out and win every single game. And those guys he included as being Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jared Goff. Now, I don't agree with all of those guys. I think if anyone in there is a game difference maker, I think it's Jared Goff because he has the lesser roster of those teams and still has the second best record in the NFL. So if anyone out of that list is a game difference maker, I would say it would have to be Jared Goff. And those guys that he mentioned, they might be on the more elite end of game managing, but either way, still game managers, okay? They're not Josh Allen. They're more like plug-and-play quarterbacks. They're guys who fit well in their system, and because their system fits them, they're a good quarterback. Now, if Josh Allen goes somewhere else, he would still be successful because he is the difference. The system isn't the difference. So for the most part, I agree with Cam Newton. I think he's right for the most part. Really, the only thing I disagree with him on is when he said Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees are elite game managers. I think those guys are pretty big difference makers because the franchises they played for, once they retired, they still haven't recovered. That is a game difference maker in my mind. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a subscription, and we will see you on the next video. Peace out.